the young, and the restless spoilers. Ashley Abbott, a prominent figure in Genoa City, found herself spiraling into a state of confusion and helplessness. It was an unusual night, one that she would never forget. Overwhelmed by her emotions and disoriented by her circumstances, Ashley could barely grasp the reality around her. In her vulnerable state, Martin, a man with sinister intentions, took advantage of her confusion. Ashley, lost in her thoughts, mistook Martin for Tucker McCall, a man she once loved deeply. Her emotions, mixed with hallucinations, led her to believe she was with Tucker. She reached out to Martin, caressing him, whispering sweet nothings, and showering him with affection that she reserved for Tucker. Martin, realizing her mistake, decided to play along, his mind concocting a devious plan. Martin reveled in the attention, embracing Ashley and returning her affections without hesitation. He played the role of Tucker, enjoying every moment of Ashley's misplaced tenderness. He whispered back, feeding her delusions and deepening her confusion. But as the fog in Ashley's mind began to clear, the horrifying reality dawned upon her. This man was not Tucker, he was Martin, a manipulator and a predator. Ashley's horror was palpable as she pushed Martin away, her voice breaking into a scream that echoed through the room. Her scream was abruptly cut off as Martin's hand clamped over her mouth. His other hand tightened around her neck, and his eyes, cold and menacing, bore into hers. He hissed a demand for silence, his grip unyielding. "If you don't keep quiet, I will kill you," Martin threatened, his voice a terrifying whisper. Ashley, paralyzed by fear, nodded meekly, her tears streaming down her face. She knew Martin was serious, and any resistance could mean the end of her life. Martin's grip loosened slightly, but his dominance remained unchallenged. He forced Ashley to inhale a dose of chloroform, rendering her unconscious. As her body went limp, Martin quickly made his next move. He hoisted her over his shoulder and carried her out of the building under the cover of night. The streets of Genoa City, usually bustling with life, seemed eerily silent as the monster moved stealthily with his unconscious captive. Panic spread through Genoa City as news of Ashley's disappearance broke. Her family and friends were frantic, their minds racing with fear and uncertainty. The citizens were gripped by a chilling sense of dread, knowing that one of their own had been taken by a dangerous man. The authorities launched a desperate search, but Martin was cunning and had covered his tracks well. As the days passed, the anxiety and fear in Genoa City intensified. Everyone wondered where Ashley was, whether she was safe, and if anyone would be able to rescue her from the clutches of the monster who had taken her. Each moment felt like an eternity as the community held its breath, praying for her safe return. Meanwhile, Ashley found herself in an unfamiliar place, groggy and disoriented from the chloroform. Her surroundings were dimly lit, and the air was thick with the musty smell of decay. She struggled to piece together her fragmented memories, her heart pounding as the realization of her predicament set in. She was trapped, held captive by a man capable of unspeakable horrors. In her moments of solitude, Ashley's mind raced with thoughts of escape. She knew she had to stay strong, to find a way out of this nightmare. Her captor, Martin, watched her closely, his eyes never leaving her for long. He was always one step ahead, anticipating her moves, and ready to quash any attempt at freedom. Back in Genoa City, Ashley's family, led by her brother Jack, refused to give up hope. They organized search parties, plastered the city with posters, and used every resource available to bring her back. The community rallied together, united in their determination to find Ashley and bring Martin to justice. As the search intensified, a lead finally emerged. A witness came forward, claiming to have seen a man matching Martin's description near an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. The police, along with Ashley's family, quickly mobilized, hoping this would be the breakthrough they needed. In the dark, desolate warehouse, Ashley's hope flickered as she heard the distant sounds of sirens. She knew rescue was near, but she also knew Martin would not let her go without a fight. Gathering her strength, she prepared herself for the final confrontation, determined to survive and return to her loved ones. The police surrounded the warehouse, their weapons drawn and ready. Jack, despite being told to stay back, insisted on being part of the rescue mission. He could not bear the thought of losing his sister. As the officers stormed the building, a tense standoff ensued. Martin, realizing he was cornered, grabbed Ashley, using her as a human shield.